When I was 19 years old, I thought my life was over. I met the girl who I thought was the one, right? She was my first girlfriend. She was the girl who I lost my virginity to. She was my first love, my best friend. She basically became my everything. Looking back, I became very needy and codependent. Yeah, I lost myself in that relationship. Because this was my first relationship, I became obsessive. I stopped working on myself. I stopped spending time with my friends. This one person became my everything. And when she left, it felt as though someone had cut off the life support. And in the months that followed, I fell into one of the darkest seasons of my life. Yeah, I was drinking too much, I was doing drugs, I was making destructive decisions. I remember the night after we broke up, I went into Liverpool city centre, I drank far too much. I actually ended up getting arrested for just being a twat, really, like drunken, disorderly behaviour. Got arrested, had to spend the night in a cell, and I remember leaving that cell the next morning and immediately calling her phone, yeah, crying, yeah, like literally crying into the phone, begging her to take me back. And she was just like, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. And even though I'm not proud of my actions and I feel embarrassed looking back and embarrassed telling you this story, those actions were a product of who I was at the time, all right? So for some context, I grew up as an only child in a small town in the Lake District. I had severe social anxiety growing up where I would break out into these sweating fits at school whenever I got put on the spot to answer questions. If my family came around to visit, I would run upstairs because I was scared of talking to them. And I didn't have friends. Yeah, I didn't have social connections. I was a very introverted kid, and I never had any traction when it came to girls. And here was this girl who for some reason accepted me. Yeah, for the first time in my life, I found a girl who actually liked me. It was as though it was like giving food to a man who'd been starving his entire life. And this is why that first breakup hit me so hard, yeah, because this was the first girl who accepted me. This was the first girl who'd ever allowed me to experience love, and now it was all gone, yeah, and I had this dread for the future. Yeah, I was like looking into the future and it felt like this hopeless void because I didn't think I'd ever be able to replace her. Now, although it didn't feel like it at the time, this breakup was the best thing that could ever have happened to me because it led to a series of events which put me on a trajectory to becoming what I can best describe as cold-hearted. And what I now believe to be true, having had the experiences that I've had, is becoming cold-hearted is not a negative, it's a necessity. Yeah, I believe that every man needs to have his heart broken into a million pieces. Yeah, I believe that every man needs to fall deeply in love with the woman who he believes is going to be the mother of his children, and then have that relationship fall apart right in front of his eyes. And bro, this may seem dark and masochistic, but I now view heartbreak as a rite of passage, and I view it as a necessary sacrifice for us to become the men that we need to be. Because I don't know about you, bro, but in that first relationship, I was very naive to the world. I was making long-term decisions on short-term feelings. I was subscribing to the belief of the one and the happily ever after fairy tale. And I needed that breakup. Yeah, I needed that cold, hard slap in the face to wake me up to reality and to stop me from sleepwalking through life. Becoming cold-hearted means that I'm no longer frivolous with my emotional expenditure. Yeah, if I'm dating a girl and the relationship isn't working, then I now have no problem cutting things off and walking away. But in that first relationship, I was suffocating in that state of scarcity. I didn't know if I'd ever be able to find anybody else. I was so buried in that mindset that it was like, if I don't have her, I'm never going to be able to get anybody. Does that make sense? I'm no longer needy in relationships because I put myself first. Yeah, I prioritize my fulfillment over somebody else's happiness. And people may describe this as cutthroat or ruthless or cold-hearted, but for me, it just is. Yeah, like the world is motivated by self-interest. We all just want the best deal for ourselves. And this relationship, like this first relationship in particular, allowed me to see the world as it is rather than how I would have liked it to be. And I can now enter all my future relationships rationally. Yeah, I know that no matter how perfect a relationship may appear, at any point, it can all turn to dust. And I'm completely at peace with that, right? And just knowing this, like this one realization will set you free. Yeah, like knowing that at any moment, this perfect paradisical relationship, it can all turn to dust. It makes me appreciate the moment for what it is. Yeah, because all beautiful things must end, right? That's why they're beautiful, like the sunset or a rainbow. Like, it all must come to an end. It's a little bit like memento mori, you know, like one day you will die. It's reminding yourself that one day this will end. But knowing this almost allows me to experience the breakup in advance, right? To already have made peace with the finality and the transient nature of life and situations and relationships. I'm now able to just be grateful, yeah, to love it for what it is. Yeah, it's not going to last forever, but let's just enjoy it whilst we have it. So bro, if you're somebody who's going through a heartbreak right now, then congratulations, because this is the best thing that could ever have happened to you, right? I call these moments in a man's life his rock bottom renaissance, okay? It's these moments that allow us to forge a new identity through the fires of adversity. It reminds me of that quote from Fight Club, you know, where it's only after we've lost everything are we free to do anything. I need you to view the end of this relationship as the beginning of this new season of your life, okay? Now look, mourn the relationship. If you need to cry. Like, bro, I was crying for weeks, right? Like, I don't want to give you the red pill advice where it's like, oh, she'll regret losing you, use revenge as rocket fuel. Like, yeah, fine, do that if you want to do it. There's no rules to any of this stuff, but I do think that the relationship has come to an end. Mourn the death of the relationship, cry, climb a mountain, scream to the top of your lungs just to get it out your system, spend some time in the shadows to blow off some steam, like whatever you need to do. But eventually you'll reach a point, just like I did, where you realize this is so bad, it must be good. Yeah, you're able to view this heartbreak as a rite of passage, as a stepping stone towards your new season of masculine renaissance. And you'll eventually be able to be grateful. Yeah, you'll be able to be grateful for this transformation, grateful for becoming more cold-hearted. And becoming cold-hearted, it's not about shutting yourself off emotionally or becoming an arsehole. It's simply about being realistic. Yeah, waking up to the realities of the world, realizing that this is how the world is rather than how you would like it to be. This video is not intended to be a step-by-step guide, you know, like 3 steps to overcome a breakup. Like, it's not that. I want this video to function as a source of optimism, right? I want my hindsight practice to become your foresight practice. And I want you to be able to return to this video whenever you need it, whenever you need to find clarity in the chaos. And whoever you are and whatever you're going through, I hope this video has found you at the right time. And if there's anything I've said which resonates with you, or you've got your own story to share, then put it all into the comments below, right? Because I want us to all grow together. I want us to all embark on this journey of masculine renaissance together. So I truly hope that you found this useful. I wish you outrageous success with everything that you do in life. You've got this, bro. I love you, and I'll speak with you soon.